Today we're going to talk about how to use tracking technology, often known as cookies, to understand how to develop lead intelligence for your potential sales targets. Hi, I'm Chris Carr with Ferrotech, a marketing agency dedicated to teach CMOs and businesses how to develop a systematic approach to generate leads, nurture leads into clients, and then convert those clients into brand ambassadors. And when I mean brand ambassadors, I mean raving fans of your business, your products and services, and then your mission and values. We're going to be going over a lot today, so let's dive in. Before we do, this is Digital Marketing Masterclass Live. We try to pump out videos every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday to bring as much value as possible. So please subscribe. Please click on the notification bell. We want to make sure that we're going to be that we're able to get messages like this to you as often as possible. So let's dive in. So the first thing I want to talk about is your message. When we talk about developing lead intelligence and developing marketing approaches that help you nurture down the funnel, one of the most important things we have to do is we have to focus on content. Content marketer Barry Feldman is famous for saying, your website is the mousetrap and your content is the cheese. And so when we're talking about lead intelligence and how to develop workflows to understand how to convert better, the most important thing that you can do is to really focus on your message first. One of the tactics that we do is that we go through a book called Building a Story Brand by Donald Miller. In his approach, he develops a formulaic strategy to push people from their standard way of communicating. And what I mean by that is that oftentimes what we're going to do is, as a business, we say, hey, this is my product or service, or this is my company, and we do really great stuff, and you should buy from us. Where Story Brand kind of pivots from that, and what they do is they say, hey, you know what? Your clients are the hero of the story. And when your products and services help them, you actually become the guide to help them reach their dreams or their goals or their potential. And so one of the things that you want to be able to do is you want to go back and you want to look at your message and you want to be able to say, hey, you know what? If the client is going to say, what's in it for me, is your content talking about you, the store, you, the company, or how your products and services will make your clients better? The next thing we want to be able to do is we want to take that message, and what we want to do is we want to tie that with keywords that are going to rank on the first page of Google. All right, now this is a fictitious story here about cycling and how it's going to help people that struggle with back pain. And so what we're going to be doing here is we're going to be focusing on the keyword back injury prevention tips. Ideally, if my story is effective, I'm going to be able to develop enough trust to have them come back to my website or visit multiple pages of my website, and I'm going to be able to push them down the funnel. And then from there, in the ideal sense, I want to be able to go to a landing page. And a landing page essentially is what we call a content upgrade. And what a content upgrade allows us to do is it allows us to create really, really great content that our users will essentially be willing to put their name and their contact information into your, onto your landing page in order to obtain that piece of content. But at the same time, what you're doing is you're putting a piece of tracking code, or that cookie I was talking about before, and that tracking code essentially will go onto their device, whether it's their mobile phone or their desktop or wherever they downloaded your information, and then we're going to have a user experience like this. Now, obviously, this is a fictitious one. This is Jim Halpert from The Office, and in this story, he found our client, by typing in the keyword spine specialist in Philadelphia. From there, he went to the spine specialty page, and from there, after that, he downloaded an ebook about back pain related to cycling. Once he was in our system automatically started to drip market to him. The first one was about 5 back stretches that relieve back pain. The second one was, the second email was non-surgical options for chronic back pain, which was delivered and not opened. And then the final email in this sequence was about understanding a spinal assessment, which was opened. And then finally, Jim was put onto our back pain newsletter. And so what happens here is that our system looks at his entire contact record, looks at all of his engagement, and then assigns a score based upon a rubric that we've developed with our clients to figure out how they've engaged, with your marketing, what engagements basically earn you more points. And essentially what we're trying to do is say the higher the lead score, the higher or the more likelihood, you are to convert. So one of the things that we strive to do as a company is to sit down with our clients. And what we're going to do is we're going to look at your ideal clients and we're going to figure out, hey, what was the exact buyer's journey that they took to buy your products and services? So when I know what your ideal buyer's journey is like, I'm going to be able to count how many touches and what particular touches they had with your marketing. And then I'm going to work backwards. So let's say hypothetically, it's the rule of 7, which was classic for marketing for years. What I mean by that is it takes 7 touches to actually buy one of your products and services. What I'm going to do is I'm going to look back through your database and I'm going to say maybe if there's 2,000 people in your database or 2,000 visitors to your website, of those 2,000 visitors, about 700 of them have a lead score of maybe a 20 or a 30, which means they've only maybe touched 1 or 2 pages of your website, or they watched a video, or they went to one of your social media pages. All right? Now, what we're going to do is we're going to nurture them through the process, through drip marketing emails and inviting them back to the website. All right? Inviting them back to download more materials. And what happens is every time they engage, they're going to get more and more points. And so now what we're looking at is maybe someone's in the middle of the funnel, or in the consideration stage. And I can look at the database and I can say, these people in the middle here may have a lead score of a 50 or a 60. And then finally, if they're in the decision level stage, they might have a lead score of a 70 or above. What I want to be able to do is that if you're early on in the journey, I want to be able to know that through lead intelligence so that if my salespeople do call you, that they're not too aggressive. Or on the flip side, if they've actually downloaded materials and they have a very high lead score, what I don't want to do is talk about very elementary stuff that was in the beginning of the journey. Okay? So that is how you use marketing technology to develop lead intelligence about how your potential clients are engaging with your marketing. So we've covered a lot today. The first thing we covered was the power of starting out with a strong message. Using books like Building a Story Brand and other approaches that we've mentioned in previous videos are going to help you develop very strong messaging to understand, what is your unique selling proposition? What value do you bring to your market? And how do your products and services help transform people's lives? If you're looking for more information on how to construct a message like that, please go back to one of our previous videos about the PPPO strategy. I walk through it step by step on how to develop that message. The next thing we talk about is the importance of baking cookies into your marketing approach. And I say baking cookies as a pun, but I actually mean it. As you start to develop more and more marketing materials and connect it with workflows, you want to make sure that you're able to track your potential sales as they engage with your marketing. And then finally, we want to be able to use lead scoring to measure the efficacy of your marketing efforts. And so your sales team knows exactly, what clients have visited what pages of your website so that they can speak more effectively. Also, at a macro level, you can figure out when I look at the health of my database, I'm going to say, at least 30 to 40% of my, visitors have a lead score above a 50. And so that's kind of what I'm hoping to view as a healthy database. Okay? So I hope you got a lot of value from today's video. We try to go live every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday around 2 o'clock. We also want to encourage you to join our CMO Marketing Roundtable. This is brand new. We're just opening this up, and we're going to be trying to invite CMOs to this as soon as possible. And then finally, I talk repeatedly about our unique process. This is a process we've built over 21 years that literally walks through a systematic approach on how to generate leads, nurture leads into clients, and convert clients into raving fans. This entire process can be found at faratechuniqueprocess.com. It's spoon-fed for you. It's not gated. It's my gift to you. It's my goal that you're going to be able to look and use some of these techniques and tactics in your own marketing. At the same time, if you are in a position where you're saying, you know what, there's just so much involved here, I'm going to need help, I'm going to need support, I'm going to need to develop a system for my marketing team, for my company, please reach out. We'd love to help and support you with that. I also want to encourage you that all of these videos are also on our podcast, Digital Marketing Masterclass, which you can find in Apple, Spotify, and all the other places where podcasts can be found. And then please subscribe and click the notification bell. I want to be able to bring videos like this to you as regularly as possible. I hope you got a lot from this video, and we'll see you next time.